I'm vengeance.
So, part of the engineering process is you design a lot at first, then you build a prototype, you test a prototype, you see what's wrong, and then you only spend a little bit of time designing because you mainly just want to try to fix the problems with the first prototype and make a new prototype. And so that's what we had done. We made our design, we made our prototype. Our problem was is that we hadn't tested our prototype that much. I don't remember if it's just that we got busy with school or if we slacked off. Whatever it was, we needed to not go back to the drawing board, but address the problems that we had noticed. And so we did that. We went back to the CAD file and we started making changes. First thing we noticed is that the weight problem. We got rid of everything that was causing weight, and in fact, we actually shrunk our robot. I think it was about, I want to say it was around 5 inches or so long, and we reduced it to, we either reduced it by 1 inch or by a little bit more than 1 inch. It was somewhere around that. Anyway, we had created a Vengeance now, we had redesigned him, and we had made everything a little bit more compact. We had reduced the weight that way. And what we also did, a big change, was here, you can see Vengeance now. First off, the color scheme is a little bit more, menacing. Because, he's Vengeance. But mainly, you can see that everything looks a little bit more straight. Everything is sort of where it's supposed to be. What we did is we were really careful when cutting out our plastic this time. We made a 3D, we actually printed out our 3D model, and we were careful about tracing it and cutting it, and we really made sure that everything stuck together. And also, to be fair, it was a little bit rushed again, but we did our best. We tried to test them, and I'm going to show you a video now. You should not, by any means, do this at home. Okay? These robots are very dangerous. Very dangerous. One of our lead members at the club told us was that these things spin with enough force. I don't know about the same as a bullet, but you should treat it like a bullet. That's how much force they're spinning, and if I had been wrong here, if our dimensions had been off, and this robot had hit anything or anything, it could have gone flying and really hurt me. And so I did some stupid stuff in this video. I'm gonna play part of it, but I tested it a little bit. Now, just to be clear, the main part that's the problem is the weapon. When I had the clamp on, it's okay to drive it around a little bit. The main problem is the weapon. Basically, you only really want to turn on the weapon when you put your robot in some sort of safety box. Now, I didn't have one, and I didn't want to go outside or anything at all to try to reduce the safety, which I really should have, but I was still learning. And so I just did it in my dorm room, which you shouldn't do, but I did. And so I tested it a tiny bit. I didn't have it hit anything, obviously, but I tested it, everything seemed okay, all the stuff. And so Vengeance was actually working. It was driving around, all this stuff. Basically, I was just up late the night. It was either night or I think it was the night before the big competition that we were going to next. I was doing a few last minute things. I don't remember. I think I was fixing some wiring. I had to solder some wires to some electronics or something of that nature. It was something pretty simple. But yeah. So I was finishing with that. And so I tested it a little bit and sent a video to my teammates. But yeah. That is one of the projects I will be working on, is creating my own safety box, and I'll show you guys how to do that, or at least when I make mine. But anyway, it was time for the competition. It was time for Vengeance to get his revenge.
Damn you all to hell! I refuse to die like this! I'll drive them all out! Kill them with my bare hands! Do you hear me? With my bare hands!
vengeance to get his revenge. So we went to the competition. Here, I'll blank out their faces for privacy reasons, but our teammates, we all came to the, it was in Tucson, we all came to this event, and we brought vengeance, and some other members from our club also went there. And it was time for vengeance. And so anyway, they talked for a while. We had a chance to just kind of laze around. We didn't really need to do anything because unlike last time, we had actually tested vengeance a little bit. We had prepared. We knew that he worked. We didn't need to do all that much. All we had to do was check, go through some normal checks. Like I said, this was more of an actual event where anybody could join. So it was a little bit more serious, the checks. They really checked the weight. They checked to make sure that everything worked. Here's a robot from a person that was next to us. He wasn't actually part of any school or anything. He just liked doing this, and so he came and he brought his own robot. So like I really mean this was open. This was like the real deal. Now it wasn't anything like national, but it was a real deal to us at least. Here you can see our I took a picture, or someone took a picture of us right after we had won our first match, so you can kind of see the tournament. We ended up beating High Five, which I'm going to show the video here. And so we were going to go against Butterfly. So this is our fight against High Five. Now, one thing to note is there is a little bit of sketchiness here because High Five was having a lot of problems. I don't know if it was exactly the same as how we were in our first tournament. Like I was talking about how we basically had everything sort of off. But I do remember that he was having some sort of problems. This was a few months ago by now. So I don't remember exactly, but, you know, we did sort of have an unfair advantage, a little bit. I think he was still able to move and stuff and fight. He was just... It almost took... I think it took one hit to bring him down or something of that nature. But anyway, so we defeated High Five, and then we moved on to Butterfly. We were ecstatic. This was our first real win. Our first sort of real win. And so it was good for vengeance. You know, he was sinking his fangs into his enemies, tearing them to bits, killing them with his bare hands, or it's more like bare mouth. We kind of described his spinners as fangs, so that's kind of what they look like. But anyway, so yeah, that's what was going on. And so we defeated High Five, and so next up was Butterfly. Now, Butterfly was actually from our club. And I want to say something. I want to say something. I think Butterfly was a great design. He did a lot of stuff that we kind of wanted to do. He was really engineered well. He was also a vertical spinner, not a Peter Bar, but a vertical spinner. I'll show the video here. I think I don't remember if he weighed less than us or not. He's supposed to be, you know, just slightly, anywhere under 3 pounds. But what I really loved about his design is that when you knocked him over, the where his wheels were, it was made in a way that the vertical spinner would still be able to hit stuff, but the robot itself moved sort of like with gravity. So if it got knocked over, it could keep driving, it could keep fighting. And so I really want to put a clap to Butterfly because I really love the design. But we did win, and I think we won by hitting sort of its glass jaw. So inside of this glass jaw, like I said, it was pretty well designed, but for whatever reason, this one area was covered by a not as strong material. It was made of that not 3D printed plastic. And for whatever reason, a bunch of wires that were really important were protected by that one area in the back that was covered by this piece of plastic, and so we hit it right there. I know this because, like I said, this guy was also in our club, and so we went over, you know, we talked to them, we're friendly, you know, it's not very heated. So I talked to him, or we talked to him, and yeah, we hit this, basically his spinal cord of his robot, and it just couldn't do anything afterwards. But, oh well. Anyway, we won. And then we had to fight 3 big guys.
4 big guys, and they grab on my thighs, blow up my guts like the 4th of July.
So 3 big guys is actually, again, a really unique robot. So unlike our robot, which is one 3-pound robot, you could actually do 3 1-pound robots, which I didn't even know that was possible or allowed to do. I'm not sure if it's allowed in the national competitions, but it was allowed in this one at least. And so you can see here, there are 3 wedge-like robots. And what these wedge-like robots would do is they would try to gang up on us and try to flip us over and or stop us. And we were basically eating them up. Our robot is way heavier than theirs. It's 3 pounds. We're throwing them around. We're beating them up. And then at the very, very end, we get flipped over. And like for a robot like Butterfly, for instance, that can move when it's flipped over, that's fine. But for us, we were counting on the fact that the spinning motion of our blade would be so strong that if we did get flipped over for a second, it would immediately kick the bottom of the ground and flip us back over, hopefully. But that was more like a hope, like a praying situation, a Hail Mary. But once we were flipped over, we just couldn't do anything. And what's funny is we actually got an award for this, because basically we were winning until the very, very end. And so we got this Call the Sheriff I Was Robbed award, basically saying that we would have won, but we didn't. And, well, that wasn't it. We actually, so how this tournament worked, it was kind of like a video game where we had 2 lives. And so we had another chance. Basically, we would be able to fight another robot that had also lost once. And then at the very end, we had a chance to fight the winner who had never lost and maybe take the title home. So we fought this robot called Piano, which also happened to be from our club. And so Piano was a flipper bot. Similar to that Spatula bot that was actually the first time Apex Predator ever fought. Rest in peace, Apex Predator. This bot, you can see him, I think he's flipped over in this video a little bit, but basically he just has a flipper and he goes up like a spatula, like when you're flipping eggs. And that was his whole deal. And like I said earlier, it was kind of a bad matchup for us because we had just gotten flipped over and lost. And he didn't flip us over. He actually just got us stuck on our blades in this like weird diagonal position. But oh well, we ended up losing. And you know, it did like suck to lose. But at the same time, we'd learned so much. We had so much fun. It was worth it. And Vengeance got his revenge. And we're going to do it again this year. Not just the competition in Tucson, if they do have one. I'm not sure if they're going to have another one in Tucson. But we're definitely going to at least do the local one. And we're going to try again. And only one of our teammates is leaving. And that's his choice, and that's fine. But so the rest of myself and the rest of the team, we're going to try and make a different design. We'll probably still try to somehow relate the name to Vengeance. We'll see. But I'll be updating you guys on that. But as far as this channel, this is the end of this Apex Predator Vengeance Saga series. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the series or the video. I'm going to be focusing on some non-combat robotic stuff on the channel. I'll still post some stuff about, you know, whatever we end up doing this year. But, you know, we're gonna do some other projects, so stay tuned and have a great night, everybody.